Okay, so this is 2.4. We will get to the workbook in just a minute, but this is 2.4 negative slopes and unit, or in the book it says unit rates, but I want to talk about slopes. So we've only been looking at graphs, and I will get to the book now. So it's on page M234, so have your book open to this page right here. So we've been looking at graphs that look like this. We're going to now look at a graph that goes like this. Hopefully before this video I have linked the video that's called Slope Dude. So if you haven't seen the video for Slope Dude, please go watch it. It should be right above this video on Schoology. If it's not, please let me know because I forgot to put it there and I'm supposed to. So please make sure you've watched that video so that you understand what I'm talking about. So after you've watched the Slope Dude video, it's a minute and 34 seconds, this stuff will make sense. So we're talking about a skier. If he was going on this path, this is what he would say. So this part in black, and I'm going to put it in quotes. So our ski dude, and I'll say it as enthusiastic as the video. So as he's going along this path, so we always start from left and move right. So he's going from left to right, and so he's going to say puff, puff, positive, like he's huffing and puffing to get up the hill. He's having to like move his hands back and forth to get up the hill, and his feet have to go to get up the hill. So think about him climbing up the hill. And then as soon as he gets to the top, he's going to look down the hill and say, nice, negative. And then he's going to start actually going down. So think about if you're skiing or skateboarding or whatever, when you start going down the hill, you're going to go pretty fast. And that's the fun part, is going fast down the hill. This one's just a flat surface. So he's just kind of pretty much walking along, and it's saying zero fun. So he's not huffing and puffing, but so it's zero fun. He's not getting a workout out. I mean, he really is, but so zero fun, and then undefined. So an undefined is just a word in math that we use for something that's just going to keep going forever and ever. There would be arrows on the end of this, and it would just keep going down forever and ever. So you're just going to keep falling. So the way to remember it is a positive slope is puff, puff, positive, puff, puff, positive. And then negative slope is nice, negative. This one is zero fun, or slope of zero, and this one's undefined. So that is Slope Dude. It's a way to remember the different types of slope. I am going to draw it just so that you can see a graph that looks like it. So actually I'm going to put more of just the quadrant. So if we have a graph that looks like this, notice if you move from left to right, it would go uphill. And I like to always do a skateboarder. That's what I've always used to think about it. So the skateboarder would have to be walking up this hill because we move from left to right. So if he starts moving this direction, he would have to be going up the hill. So this is a positive slope. Then if we do one like this, notice my skateboarder would start on the far left, or skier, or whoever, whichever one's your favorite, and then he's going to move from left to right. So notice that would be going downhill, so nice, negative. So that'd be a negative slope. And then we would have one that looks like this, would be zero, slope of zero, or just the number zero. And then one that looks like this, sorry, you can probably hear my husband talking in the background, would be undefined slope. Okay, so again, it's just if you look at this part of the graph, it goes up from left to right, this part goes down, this part is flat, this part goes straight down. So that's positive slope, negative slope, zero slope, and undefined. Okay, so now let's actually do the problem for today. So if we look at this first one, That's a positive slope. It's going up from left to right. This one is going down. So it's talking about them walking home from the bus stop. So notice they started at 30. And the reason it's a negative slope is it went from 30 and now it's at 20. So it went down from 30 to 20, went down 10 feet. Okay, so we're gonna only answer this question on this page. So is the slope of the walk home, I just underlined that, is that positive or negative? Well, it's negative because it goes down. Goes down from, oops, sorry, left to right. Okay, so now we're going to write the equation. That's these questions over here, but I'm just going to do it in our notebook. Or I'm going to start doing it in our notebook. So remember the equation of our line. Hopefully that was, you took those notes. It was y equals mx plus b. So remember, m, think about your mountain. That's talking about the slopes. And then the b is initial value. So in order to find our equation of our walk home, we're going to look at this graph right here, and I'm going to zoom out. Hopefully that's not loud. But so we're going to look at the initial value and the slope. I personally like to start at the initial value. In order to find the slope, remember that's that rise over run that we've been talking about. Actually, I'm going to put it over here. Rise over run. But in order to do that, you have to figure out how much it is changing by. So I don't want to do, or I'm going to end up having to look at where it starts anyways. So we're just going to take the point where it started. So at 0 time spent, meaning no time has passed, how far away are they? So if you look at the graph, at 0 seconds, they are 30 yards away. So our 30 equals initial value, which, if you look at this equation, is initial value going to be the b, or the part adding at the end, or is it going to be the slope with the x? Well, it's going to be our b. So I want you to write the letter b here to show that that's going to be our b value. Okay, now let's think about our slope. Remember, slope we have been writing as change of y over change of x, or remember I said rise over run. Whichever you prefer, you do need to always remember it's the y over x. So now I'm going to zoom in and let's actually look at how much it's changing by. You can take these points and place them in a table. So you can put them in a table if that's been making sense, but I'm going to, since it's on a graph, I'm going to use rise over run. So I'm going to look at this line and I'm going to try to find the spots where it crosses in an exact spot. Like if I was trying to figure out what this was, I would have to say, okay, it's between 25 and 27-ish. So maybe that would be like 26.5 maybe, but I don't know for sure. So that's why you're always going to look along the line for where it crosses exactly. So if you look right there, that is an exact point. I would not have to guess or estimate that at all. So then let's continue until it crosses at that exact grid, and then it doesn't do it again. At least not that I could see. It more than likely is going to be there, but we don't know that for sure. So the next thing that you're going to do is it started at 30 and it ends up at 10, or at 20, sorry, of course I just gave you the answer. But so it's at 30 and now it's at 20. So what I'm going to do is 30 minus 20 is 10. Then, but what you need to think about is, did it go up or did it go down? So it changed by 10, we said that. I am writing terribly. So we said it changed by 10. Did it go up or did it go down by 10? Well, it definitely went down. That's that negative slope part. And then it went from here, think about it, 30 down here on this graph is at 0, and then it's right here between 5 and 10. So you're going to think about that. So it went down 10 in, let's see, so what's halfway? Let's take 5 and divide by 2. That's 2.5. So each one of those lines, which I absolutely hate, but we're going to go with it. I'm going to write this underneath there. Oh man, my paper is sticking together and things are not working for me very well today. So I'm going to do 2.5. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 0.5 would be 7.5. 10 plus 2 is 12, plus 0.5 is 12.5. 15, 16, 17.5. And then that would be 22.5. Okay, so let's put that back down. All right, so that's actually at 7.5. So it went from 0 to 7.5. So a lot of people get confused and start counting that as 3. It's actually not. You need to look at how many each line is worth. So it's going to be 7.5. So I'm going to actually write that over here. Notice it says, what is the slope? So it's negative 10 over 7.5. Rise over run. So negative 10 divided by 7.5. So on your calculator, you're going to hit 10. Make sure you hit the negative and then divide by 7.5. And you get negative 1.33. We're just going to leave it as that. I am going to write on my screen real quick. So 3.3. If we want 2 decimals, you're going to have 2 decimals and you're going to look at the third. What is 3? Or does 3 make it round up or stay the same? Well, it makes it stay the same, so it would just stay that. Okay, let's check this next one. I'm going to use a different color so you can see me doing the next one. So the next one is at from 20 to 10 again. So of course that's going down by negative 10. And then it's going to go over from 7.5 to 15. So subtract them. 15 minus 7.5, so 15 minus 7.5 is 7.5. So that would be the same. So negative 10 divided by 7.5 is going to give you the same answer. Because remember, each time they're going the same amount. Okay, so that is our slope. So now let's go back over. So we know this is our slope, which is our m. So we're going to say this is our slope, which is the m. So which is m for mountain. So our equation, we're going to say the m was negative 1.33x, and I'm going to actually make that black. So the y equals and the x are always there. They never go away. They're always going to be there. Then our b value, we said, was 30. So I'm going to write plus 30. So again, let me point at my book. So negative 1.33 was our slope, which was m. So instead of writing our equation with the letter m, you're going to write it with a negative 1.33. And then instead of a b value of 30, or instead of writing b, you write 30. So let's go ahead and write our equation in our book, just so that you have it if that happens to be where you're looking at. So you're going to do y equals, and I'm going to put an x over here. I'm going to use purple since I wrote my slope in purple, so I'm going to put negative 1.33. I did not leave myself enough room. Let me try that again. Negative 1.33 x. Then our b value we said was 30, so I'm going to put plus 30. So that would be our equation. So again, we've talked about equations before, but they are just used to help you find information, and we'll talk about that more in the next video. So your assignment is actually going to be these two graphs right here, and you're going to be writing the equations. So just think about where this one starts at. So it's between 4 and 6, so that would be 5, and then you would do the same for D. Okay, again, you could have used a table here if you wanted, taking those points there. So we had the point 030. This point was at 7.520. This point was at 1510. And you could find the slope the same way we had been doing. Sorry, you could not see that whenever I was writing. But so I did 030 from that point, 7.520 and 1510. And you could just find out how much it's changing by. 30 to 20 is down by 10. 0 to 7.5 is 7.5. This is 7.5 as well. And down 10. And you would again set it up negative 10 over 7.5. So negative 1.33 is what we found over on the other page. So it's completely your preference. If you like doing the table, if you're more visually able to see that, then you can do that. Or if you like doing these little counts, you can also do that. Whichever one you prefer. Let me know if you need help.